fewer than 1 in 5 doctors currently meet quality reporting requirements, or PQRS. And next year, it's going to start getting even worse. And in 2015, penalties will kick in if doctors are not involved in this kind of near-term improvement in documentation and reporting. So what's the problem is the question. I am with Dr. Marc Shelton, President of Prairie Cardiovascular Consultants, Springfield, Illinois, and Edward Brooks, the CFO and COO of SAME. Thank you very much. What is the problem? When you've got that many doctors, more than 3 out of 4 are not following along, where's the issue?
Well, Rick, I think it's usually comes down to a process issue. I like to quote, a good quote I hear from Dr. Will Daniels from Kansas City is that doctors will do the right thing if they remember. And so doctors all want to get all the right boxes checked, but we're often very busy and we have a lot to do. And we've got to have processes in place that are hardwired somehow to remind physicians and nurses that work with patients in documentation to check all the right boxes. And so it first takes a commitment from the group and the physicians to say, okay, we're going to meet these criteria. And once the decision's been made, then it's how you implement the solutions and hardwire the answers become important operational questions. Now, at Prairie, we decided we were going to participate in all of these quality reporting measures and meaningful use and eScribe from an early standpoint. We thought that strategically and quality-wise, it was part of our mission. And so we enlisted the help of our high-level administrators once we've made the decision, such as Ed Brooks here, and Ed helps operationalize these kinds of things. And that way, when doctors forget, there are things that helped us to remember subsequently.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Ed, PQRS used to be known as PQRI.
That's correct.
And has it always been kind of difficult to manage?
Well, it didn't, except as our very first year we did this. We took our IT department and said, this is going to be simple. We're going to automate this thing. And we tore down all the questions and say, now what in our EMR system? We have one we started back in 1999. And we said, what can we do to make it automated so doctors don't have to think about it? As we tore it down, we found out it isn't automated. So we have to step back, re-engineer, and say, what do we need to do to achieve this? And so what we did is we picked the questions related to cardiology, and we put those questions on the charge ticket. And we have about 108,000 E&M charge tickets we generate a year. And on those charge tickets, every doctor's got to complete those 3 questions on every single charge ticket. Now, about 58,000 are Medicare. And of the 58,000, rather than trying to determine if we met the percentages, we bill 100% of every Medicare claim with PQRS. This way we don't worry about did you get the percentages right or whatever, we just bill 100%. The questions are developed on the charge ticket. The doctors submit the charge ticket. If it isn't completed, we send the charge ticket back to the doctor and say you need to complete the questions. And they have a great commitment. As Dr. Shelton said, our doctors have been very committed to all the quality measures that we worked with in here.
From the sounds of it, this is not something that you start on Monday and everything moves smoothly. Since 2015 is when penalties start, shouldn't practices, if they're one of the 3 or 4 that are doing this, shouldn't they start now?
Well, that's a good question. What we looked at in the very first year, the dollars are so small. And the doctors were saying, why are you doing this? The dollars aren't worth it. It's just way too much effort. And we said, well, we've got to be in the plan. We've got to be doing it so when we get to those penalties, we're not looking at penalties. So we decided we're going to get into day 1. As I told Dr. Shelton, you look in 2013, I think it's a 0.5%. And I think physician groups look back and say, for 0.5%, is it really worth going through all that effort? For us, we look at every dime. We'll adjudicate an EKG with Medicare if that's what it takes. Right. But when it comes to, we have to be ready for those years they start working on the penalties. And we've stayed in the game, and we stay in it all the way through. It isn't about money. It's about meeting the metrics and filling the metrics out.
So how do you get the doctors to say yes? Did you have any problems with this? Was there any arm twisting?
Well, it's a good team building situation, and we report the data to the physicians, and in certain instances, such as for meaningful use, we participated in Meaningful Use, which is similar in some ways last year as well. And we've been known to incent the doctors in a positive way on quality efficiency metrics, that if they meet these metrics, then and the group benefits monetarily from paybacks from the government or something, then we have incented the doctors as well.
And it does incentivize them in that we are a lot of productivity driven. Right. And you have to timely turn your billing in. And if we send it back to you, the only way you're going to get paid is get your billing in timely.
Well, the article itself, if you want to look at it, it's in the Journal of the American College of Radiology, and it's online and published right now, but it is not in print. But the date is January 2013, and so fairly soon hereafter. By the end of this video, you should have a citation that you can go to. For CardioSource World News, I'm Rick McGuire.